Hi, everybody. Mark Carey from Steepleview Farm. One of the most enjoyable parts of my day is sitting here on the front porch, looking over the garden, watching as things grow, thinking about all the fun we're going to have this summer when the families come to visit and pick their vegetables and the kids get to learn about how to grow their own food. As I sit here and look out over the garden, it occurs to me that at my age, I'm still learning every day. And I thought today I'd talk with you about how I learn, and then we'll talk about some of the things I've learned here on Gardening with Mark coming up right now. I hit a milestone this year. I turned 65 years old. But I've always had a love of learning. Even when I was a kid, I used to take the bus when I couldn't drive down to the library to read. I loved studying my whole life, and when I took up farming, one of the things I found most enjoyable about it was learning new things. I mean, there were people out there who'd been doing this for generations, and they knew so much more than me. Maybe they didn't have a college education, probably didn't even have any kind of formal training. They'd done what their dad and their granddad had done. But I was learning from scratch, and so it held a brand new fascination for me. Over the years, as I've learned to farm a little bit at a time, I've made a ton of mistakes. And that's why I started this channel. It wasn't so much because I wanted to be on TV or because I wanted to have some sort of notoriety, but because I felt like at my age, having learned as much as I've learned, and the hard way, by learning it from scratch and making a lot of mistakes along the way, maybe I could share that knowledge with you if you're interested in gardening or interested in farming or in market gardening, and find a way to help you avoid some of the pitfalls that I unfortunately had to step into, and to bring to you some of the successes that I've had. But today I want to talk with you right now about one of the most incredible sources for learning that I've discovered. You know, like I said, when I was a kid, I used to take a bus to the library and sit and read. When I started farming, I subscribed to magazines, and I got on to newsletters, and I asked for publications from my Department of Agriculture, and I found lots of resources out there, and I created huge files for them. This was in the days before computers, but now with computerized learning, I can go on the internet and I can find articles. I can weed out the bad ones, the ones that don't work. I can try things that look like they might work, and then when they don't, I can post a comment, or I can add my own experience to the body of knowledge. But lately, one of the things I've enjoyed the most is seeing things done hands-on. There's probably nothing better than watching somebody do something rather than just having somebody tell you how to do it. And so I've discovered that there are a lot of people out there with a great deal of knowledge who are very willing to share that knowledge with others, including me. And I've replaced any kind of television viewing that I might ordinarily have had, which wasn't much to begin with, but any television viewing with now watching videos on YouTube by people who are gardeners and farmers willing to share their knowledge. And you know how I do that? Not on the computer, right here on my TV screen. I'm of an age where I remember when televisions were little bitty cabinets that sat on top of a table with a round screen. I remember our first black and white TV that was a console. Then I remember portable TVs, and then I remember big screen TVs that were great big. You know, today there are an awful lot of televisions out there that are so reasonably priced that you can get virtually any feature that you want. One of the features, if you have internet access, that I highly recommend is getting an internet-ready TV. This is YouTube. This is my television set. This is how I choose the programming that I want to watch when I sit down to watch TV at night. As you can see, most of the programs that I have selected are programs that have something to do with farming or gardening or homesteading, and lately programs that have to do with how to do YouTube videos, because I'm trying to do better videos all the time so that when I get on here to show you something, it's educational and entertaining. So if you look at the channels that I'm watching, you can see, for example, there in the middle at the bottom, that is Curtis Stone, the Urban Farmer. That is a great channel to subscribe to. This is Farm Alarm. They have some great tips. If you look up here, you've also got people like Justin Rhodes, who did the Great American Farm Tour, a great video. If you want to learn how to do videos, you go to Brian Johnson's channel. So bottom line is that when I want to get on TV, I don't tune to the channels that are broadcast through the air and received by an antenna. And of course, nobody's using those old rabbit ears with aluminum foil anymore. And you don't necessarily have to pay for cable, and you don't have to pay for satellite dish TV. You can, for free, go on YouTube and watch or find thousands upon thousands of channels to teach you things that you might not otherwise know. Now, let me show you how good it looks. Let me show you just one little Urban Farmer Curtis Stone video from one day ago, and this is kind of what I'm shooting for.
Talk to you guys about raspberries, and these are my favorite perennial crop. I'm so impressed by this one particular bush that I planted. I think it's been 3 years now, and I did a video a number of years ago.
I'm sure Curtis would not mind me using a little snippet of his video, but that's the kind of thing that you can find on YouTube. So if you are not watching YouTube on your television, you are missing out on a ton of educational programming. So as you can see, there are videos on here that are interesting, entertaining, show you things that you might not know, and a way for you to continue your learning no matter how old you are or how far along on your educational journey you might be. So today, as I leave the porch and head out into the garden to check on all the things that are going on, particularly since we had a wonderful, nourishing rain last night, I'm sure I'm going to learn something. I'm going to learn something about how my crops behaved. I'm going to learn something about how my irrigation system is working. I'm going to learn something perhaps about how the tomatoes need to be trellised, or I'm going to learn something from the garden today, because every day I try to learn something, and whether I want to or not, I do, because gardening is an experience. It's not a one-shot deal. It's something you do all the time, and you do it because you love it. So as I stand here today and look out over my garden, either from the porch or in the garden itself, there are a lot of things that I can learn. But if I have to go in the house because it rains again, or sometime this evening I want to sit down and relax, there's another way for me to learn, and that's to use YouTube. That's why we're doing these videos at Steepleview Farm. That's why I started the Gardening with Mark series, and that's why I invite you now to subscribe to our channel. And when you do, hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so that you can be notified when new content posts. We're going to post new content every Friday, and hopefully there'll be things that I learned, mistakes and good things, that I can share with you to help you not only be a more successful gardener and a more successful farmer, but also find that the process itself is that much more enjoyable. You know how to find us, steepleviewfarm.net. That's our website. Right there at the very top, there's directions to the farm. We are totally transparent, open for people to come and visit anytime with a polite phone call first, please. And when you get here, we'll show you all around the farm, let you see everything we're doing, all the processes, all the vegetables, all the gardening, all the infrastructure. Ask any questions that you want, because we like to share our little piece of heaven with everybody else in the world. It's not ours. It was given to us as a blessing, and we need to share that blessing. So we hope to see you here.